Well, we're live. Welcome, everybody. It would be lovely to have a sound check before I start. I just need a yes if you can hear me okay. And if the music isn't too loud, if you want me to turn the music down as I speak, just let me know. Okay, could you give me a sound check over here, please? Welcome to tonight's beautiful event where we're talking about all the most beautiful things in the world. How did that sound? How did that come across? Was that okay as well? So if you could give me two yeses, from front yes to back yes. I think I've got a yes to the front. What about the back? Now tell me what it sounds like with the fan on. Does it make any difference to the sound as I speak to you with the fan on? Because literally it's 33, 34 degrees in this room. I don't have air conditioning. So how does it sound with the fan on? Does it make any difference? Can you still hear? Okay, because some people say that I don't look at the. Does he ever look at the comments? It's very difficult when you're like a child eating an ice cream. You just focus on eating the ice cream. When I do my talks, I'm fully focused. I'm not like a presenter or somebody who's got that technology inside there to multitask. I can't walk and chew chewing gum at the same time. So I'm sorry about that. So this is the only occasion right now that I'm able to communicate with you because I focus on one thing, and that's great. Thank you so much. If I ever don't answer your messages on here, please don't take it personally. It's just that when I'm in a flow, I just flow. That's just who I am, and I don't mean to be. I know I should look at your comments more often, but I tend to lose track of what I'm saying through the flow because I channel more than think about things. So tonight I've wrote a few pointers on here. That's it. But normally I just go with the flow. First of all, welcome to this evening's lovely event for you. I've asked you all if it's possible, if you could get a pen and paper. And the reason why is because I encourage you to write down things that are different from me. So what that means is when you're inspired by something that's been said, what happens is your consciousness inspires you even greater. So I used to be a little bugger that way. That was my issue with circle nights and going to mediumship or spiritual events. I used to get inspired by my own channeling. So I'd be writing things down and the teachers would get really pissed off with me and say, are you not listening? Are you not writing this down? And I'm like, I've got something even better for me, not for you, but for me. So thank you. But they got so upset with me. So I wasn't really a really good pupil in that sense with those that strict teachers. But the teachers who could recognize what I was and how I worked actually went with. A good teacher will always watch a pupil and follow their lead, watch what they're doing and see their gift and work with them. And then there's some teachers who are just teachers who are filled with ego and anger and do what I say and that's it. No, I'm the opposite. I say whatever's given to you tonight, whatever you feel that would work better, that's your gift. That's your teaching within you. That's so what I'm sharing with you is inspiration, hopefully, that you might say, oh, that's a good idea, but then don't ever not override it with your own thoughts and feelings because they're more important than mine, because it's your path, it's your footsteps, they're your shoes, not mine. So welcome everybody tonight. It's great to be able to chat about something that I love to talk about, and I wish God, I wish heaven, I wish Jesus would come and resolve what we're going through. But I don't think they will. And I think we have to still continue speaking the truth, no matter how hard it is and how much we are stoned, literally stoned. But that's the way it is. That's the only time I get exhausted with the darkness fighting back against us. But some of you are stronger than that, and I appreciate that. It's wonderful. On a side note, one of the most beautiful things when doing a circle night is that sometimes that people are in the circle there to help you. It's incredible. And you don't even need to talk to them. They just come. They come from nowhere. And then when the night's over, you give them a cuddle. I'd said to them, thanks for helping. And they'll go, it's my pleasure. I could recognize those that just came to help the frequency, the energy, and the healing. That's special, guys. That's something really special. Yeah. So why are we doing this tonight? I was doing it mainly for the reasons that healers sometimes really struggle to get clients. And the reason why is because of the foundation of Pure Energy Healing. That is the Pure Energy Healing Academy that I am proud to be a founder of. And it's a healing technique which is non-evasive, both mind, body, and spirit. And what that means is we don't push, we don't force. And we look up and say, when anybody needs my help, I'm here. And we trust that the spirit world will help us. And a lot of the times people who become practitioners get a little bit frustrated because they're not seeing results. So one of the things that I used to do was circle nights. So the reason why I'm doing that is this tonight is for those practitioners, but I also opened it up to everybody else, because you might get inspired by tonight in whatever way. That's why I said write things down. You might end up writing a book because of tonight. You might end up opening a business because of tonight, and it might have nothing to do with what we're talking about. So be inspired tonight and enjoy this evening. So first of all, I'm going to start by my thoughts before I started a circle night, and from there on. So I was a healer, and I was busy. Minimum of 3 clients every day, maximum 6, 7. But I also wanted to reach more people, because I wanted to share the healing with more people. It wasn't that I needed more customers, therefore I didn't do it for that. But I realized that, wow, this is really, really interesting, because every time I did a circle night, the circle night would grow each week, and I'd get through the week 3 or 4 phone calls saying, I came to your circle night, I'd like to book in a reading with you and a healing session. And so would my cousin and my brother and my sister and so on. So I thought, that is definitely a way to build up clients. And I did that purely out of love, not because of I needed more clients. I was busy enough. Remember, after I'd finished a full day with my clients, I'd have to pack up my reading room, which if you look here, this is what it would look like, plus crystals, oils, and incense, loads of them. And plus my hi-fi system with my CD in. And maybe 4 or 5, or there were probably about 5 or 6 boxes I had to put into my little car and drive down and set the place up for 7 o'clock. So sometimes it was a bit of a rush. So the idea of a circle night to me was, really, really exciting. To get out of the reading room. I used to love the reading and healing room, but to get out and do it somewhere else and do something bigger on a bigger scale was kind of frightening a little bit. And I had to push the boat. And am I able to do this? Have I got the confidence to do this? And funnily enough, it seemed as though I did, because from having maybe 5 to start with, it grew up to 300, 320, 340, some of the best nights we did. Yeah, some people say I exaggerate and lie. No, you can have a look on my, mind you, that's taken down on Facebook, but you can see some of the massive pictures of 100 people and more. And then I took photos of when I did the big events where people would come and there'd be, 300 or 400 in the room. So it was very natural, and it happened over the years. And I did this for many years, really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. So it all began with the right place. So I spent maybe a good 2 months looking at different locations everywhere, and nothing felt right until one day I went down to a place called Temesa Golf Hotel, and it was only because prior to that, I went to a show that was there, and it was a show where people were healing people. So I thought, oh, I remember that. So I went down and I introduced myself to the manager, who at that time was John Peach. It's now closed down, and I actually went to look to buy it last year, but it was going to cost over $2 million to do up. And I said, no, I'm just not. It's not worth it. But that's on a side note. That's how much I love that place. And it's basically on a golf course, so it's beautiful. Lots of parking space, which is perfect. So lots of parking space. That means that we can get lots of clients, and there's loads of space on the road up towards Alarin. So there's loads of space. And the fact that I didn't have much money then, I can tell you that as a fact. Back then, I had hardly any money. I just, enough to pay them. The mortgage was massive, and food and everything. So didn't have that much money, but I made do. And I'll explain why I made do later. So I shook John Peach's hand. He says, "What you doing then, son?" I says, "I'd like to do like evenings of meditation." I didn't say healing. I said meditation, where people sit in silence and, put some music on. And he says, "It's not weird stuff, is it? It's not none of this culty stuff, is it?" I said, no, nothing like that. I'm not that exciting. And he says, "Okay, good." I said, "There is one thing though." I said, "Am I able to use some cleansing sticks if it's not too strong?" He said, yeah. He says, there's no sprinklers, so you should have no problem in this room. I'm like, wow, no sprinklers. Fabulous. Because it was an old hotel. So that was something to consider, which was great. I'll actually go into detail in that shortly about if you are booking into a hotel and they have sprinklers, I'll suggest something that I've got on the table now, which I couldn't do before. So I looked at the place. He said, "Okay, son." He says, "Well," I said, "I don't have a lot of money. I don't know how many people are going to come, John." I says, "But hopefully it'll grow and grow." And I said, "And as it grows, I'll pay you more." I says, "But as at the moment, how much would you charge me?" He says, "Well," he says, "for you," he said, "what night is it?" I said, "Tuesday night, please." He said, "How long will it last for?" I said, "Well, normally starts at 7 o'clock and finishes at about 9:30, 10, something like that." He says, "I'll do it you for £60. And obviously, 15 years ago, that was like saying 150, right? And I went, "Okay, let's do it." And so I booked my first one in. And there were only a few people who turned up. Maybe, I don't know, it might have been, I can't remember. It might have been 8 or 12 or 6. I can't remember. And each week I continued to do it. And people started talking, and the next week it got busier and busier and busier until a normal evening would be a minimum of 50 to 100 people. And that was great. That was plenty enough. When it became so busy, I started limiting seats because I depending on what the night was all about, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So limit your seats to what you're comfortable with, because guess what? Surprise, surprise, people bring other people even when they're not invited. So you end up getting more people than what you wanted, and now it might ruin the evening where it takes longer and so on. So bear that in mind. Make it strict and say, please don't bring any friends. This is only for you guys. It's a closed circle night. If you're doing something different, and I'll explain all the different nights and what I used to do in those circle nights, which are absolutely beautiful. So now I've got my place, price is great. How much do I charge? Well, I wanted people to come, and I already was working as a full-time healer, and I was getting paid back then €60 a session, which was for an hour and 20 minutes. So I was doing 3 to 6 sessions a day. So hey, I'm getting paid enough, so I'm not going to charge too much. So I charged €5 a ticket, and they were going to get a lot more than €5 at the end of it. Not just the night, but there were surprises where I would gift crystals and other things as well. So it was a lovely evening. So everything's ready. I've got everything ready. In my mind, I was kind of worrying about what to talk about. I knew as soon as I started healing that was the main thing, and I didn't need to talk. I knew that they would get what they needed, but filling the in-between is really important. So let's go into a little bit of detail into that, shall we? And then we'll go back to going down and setting up. No, let's start from going. So everything that I felt was right to bring down, I pack up in boxes. I'm bringing that, I'm bringing this, I'm bringing that, I'm bring everything down, bring more than enough. And I'm going to show you what I brought down at the back of me, but I packed them all up, and I'm going to go through what I used to do. Got my hi-fi system, got all my tools, bought this cloth today, by the way, because I just wanted to show you. I don't use cloths anymore, but I just bought this today just to show you. So I bought that cloth. It was, I don't know, it was €25, something like that. Beautiful cloth, beautiful material, gorgeous to set your stuff out on, and fantastic to do psychic readings on as well, just as a side note. Be aware that, be careful that people do touch the table or knock the table. So if you are using candles, make sure the candles are sat in some sort of cup, because there were many a times I'd spent, literally hours with a hairdryer trying to hair dry off the candle that had spilt over, and ruined my beautiful cloth, which I couldn't afford it to be damaged. So that's another side note. I hope you're writing some of these things down as well. So everything's ready. I'm all set and prepared. What did I wear? Whatever I felt comfortable in. It wasn't important what I wore, but if I ever did a really heavy night where it was, let's say, a ritual of cleansing a very, very dark entity, anything like that, I would wear that. So this is 15 years old. You can see it's 15 years old because look how dark these have come. That's because of the oil. So these little button things have gone a bit yellow. But yeah, love that. It's from Morocco, and they used to wear these all the time. I think they've gone out of fashion now, and you don't see this so much. But it's yeah, I wore it, and I liked wearing it. I rolled the sleeves up when I got on with the work, mind you. And but then normally when I did a circle night, I'd go just as casual as you would. I wouldn't dress up special or anything like that. Just dress up normal, because my work speaks for itself. My old teacher used to dress up like a witch, and I'd say to her, "Why are you dressing up like that for?" And she'd say, "Because people respect me more and fear me more." And I just didn't understand that. I just didn't understand that. Why should fear make you any more powerful? You know, your work should speak for itself, so it doesn't matter what you look like. So I get down there, and I go into the room, and the room is oblong, right? It's kind of the same shape as the screen. And I needed to set it up so that I could see everybody and they could all see me, and so that I wouldn't be turning my back to people. And at first I made the mistake of turning my back to the half of the people, and they got upset. So you don't want to upset people by turning your back on them and talking, even though I said, don't worry if my back's turned, just listen to the words and close your eyes. But even still, people took it as an offense sometimes and got upset. So it's always good to create a circle where you're not turning your back. So what you're seeing now if I just show you this piece of paper, this is what the room looked like. Okay. And I'm going to do the door. The door was here. So the door was here, and there was a table at the side of it. So when you walked in, you were right next to a table. So what did I put on that table? I put a box with an open box with like 25 €5 notes. Okay, so there was €5 notes. There sometimes was 30 or even 50. And the reason why is because you want change for people. And at the side on the table, it says €5 per person. But I used to say to people, if tonight you don't have the money and you've booked to come, then don't worry. Don't pay anything. It's a gift from my heart to yours. So this is all confirmed. I'm not making any bullshit up. This is the truth. If you can afford, pay. If you can't, don't worry about it. So it was more about, you know, reaching out and helping people. So on that table was money for anybody to pick up and steal. Nobody ever stole any money, ever. And then at the side of it, I would line up my little bottles of healing oils. At that time, they were only small, tiny little bottles. And I'd put healing oil, abundance oil, cleansing oil. And there'd be like €2 or €3. And I'd have lots of pound coins in there as well. Euro coins in there. So they could buy an oil. But they would get a free healing oil as they came in anyway, or when they sat down, and I'll go through that in a minute. So I had oils for sale, which would help the night for those who couldn't afford, for those who could afford, and they would buy the oils. And guess what? I had a load of crystals that I'd worked on with prices of 60, 80, 100, 300 back then. I had Moldavites on there. Nobody stole any of those pendants ever. Nobody. So they were all on display. And guess what? There would be €300 in there that somebody bought a Moldavite in. And I'm like, wow, this is so I didn't even have to think about that. It would just come in that way. So at one point where it got so busy, and you'll see a photo of myself and my ex-wife Susie stood next to each other next to the door of that place. And so she sometimes came every now and again because she enjoyed the healing, and she would be at the door while I'd be cleansing people and giving them oils before we start. So depending on if you've got somebody to help you, if you haven't, if you're by the door and they're coming in, then you've got your oils and you're gonna use the oils on them. So they come to the door and you would say, can I just give you a cleansing? And a cleansing would be a Palo Santo stick. I'll go through that in a minute. I'd cleanse them down before they walked in, or if somebody was there to help me, I'd cleanse them when they sit down. So sometimes if it was so busy and there were a lot of people, I'd give somebody a bottle and say to them, would you pass it on? Would you put some of this oil on and pass it on to the next person? So depending on how busy it is, I like to be personal. I like to feel their energy, and there's reasons why. So getting back to the night. So I've shown you the front entrance. I've shown you how to set up your front entrance and to put your crystals there and your oils and your incense and anything that you want to sell there, okay, on there. And it's up to them if they want to buy it. They don't, no problem, no issues, but it's there for them. That's lovely. I think that's a lovely gift in that sense. Well, obviously you'll probably find that you'll give things away as well through the night. So, you know, I don't talk too much about that, but we give a lot away as well. So now I'm going to draw to you where I'm going to put the main table. So I've decided to put the main table here, right? And now I'm going to start putting the chairs in a kind of circle like that, and when the door shuts, when we shut the door, I put another chair here, another chair there, and I continue. So I've got 2 chairs outside ready to come in. Remember, all the chairs need to be kind of facing. I should have done that correctly. I haven't done this brilliant, but you'll understand what I mean. So basically it looks like that. Okay. So all the chairs, right? If somebody's sat at either side, you can face the chair sort of out, because I'm going to sit in that. I'm going to sit in the first seat. That seat's for me. This seat's for me. I need to sit there so everybody can see me. Right? Can you see where I've exited? That's where I'm going to sit. So while I'm sat there, I'm able to stand up and walk across here and talk, and everybody is going to be able to see me all the way around. Now, if it gets really busy, right, you're going to have to start again, and you're going to have to put another lot of seats. And at that point, you're not going to really use the seat what you were sat in, because the ones behind aren't going to see you. So now you've got this, and now you've got to have to stand up so everybody sees you. So, and it used to go another one as well. Now, just so you know, as you see this, you've got to make it so that you are able to get up and walk around the back of all of them chairs. And sometimes you need to make a little break in between the 2 sides. So you're in the circle, you can walk in between the break and then go and heal somebody here and go across the room quickly there, because you're going to start to tune into people that need healing. So it's going to be a night where you need the easiest access to all your clients. So when I show you these seats, make sure that you can walk in between the middle of the 2 seats, so you can touch the back of everybody and the front of everybody up here. So there needs to be a good space, so you're not kicking anybody and ruining their meditation night. You're going to be a butterfly. You're going to be careful how you walk around. You're going to be quiet. And you're going to try and make no noise and do the healing and be respectful for those who are in meditation. So everything that you do for the reasons of your clients. You're going to give them the best experience you can. And these little things only really truly come to you when you go through the experience. So you might kick somebody and think, shit, I've just kicked somebody and they were deep in meditation. Now they're back up now with a shock. And now it's going to take them a while to get into it. And now I feel bad about that. So you got to think about what you're doing before you do it, and counter anything that could be a problem. That's a smart healer. So that's kind of like how it would look. So this table here is my main table. So the table is behind here, and this is how I would set it up. So I'm going to go over here now. Okay, welcome to my table. My table are my tools, and everything on this table means everything to me. There's nothing on this table that I do not think is powerful. Everything on here is powerful, is amazing. When I first started, I didn't have the money to be able to just give people crystals. So what I would do is I would go to the beach and I would find crystals from the beach. So That will be a hand-picked crystal from the beach. Okay, lovely crystal. And here's another one from the beach. And this actual crystal is from Mijas Pueblo. So it's one of the, this is what the mountain looks like. It's a kind of granite. It's beautiful. And those crystals, I used to sit down. I used to hold them and put energy into them. And I used to gift them as a reminder of a lovely evening. Now, did they work for clients? Did stones work? My clients used to say that they used to come up to me 2 years later and say, I've never let this crystal go. And it wasn't a crystal, it was a rock from the beach. And they would say, this reminds me of the night that I healed myself, or that you helped me heal myself. So that was really lovely. And that was the start until I was able to afford to buy crystals for myself. So this is how this would be on my healing table anyway, at the Tickle Pink. All of these things would be scattered around. So when I was doing a healing session, say here, I would probably set it up very similar to this. So everything that you see on here is all part of the healing night, which means that no matter how I feel during the healing night, no matter who is at the healing event, I will feel their energy, and depending on what I'm feeling at that given moment, I will follow that. So I might have notes on something and then look at it at the end of the night thinking I never even said any of those things. And the reason why is because a good healer will attune to the moment. Now, some healers can attune to the moment before they get there. I didn't have that gift. So when I got there, I actually talked about something completely different. There were only times when I would specifically say tonight's healing night is ABC, 1, 2, 3. Then I would follow that. But even so, my conversation may change because of who sat down in front of me. So let me just go through these things. So I mentioned a candle. So there's a candle in this salt crystal. Okay, that's really nice, really lovely and healing. Nothing spills out of there. Fabulous. So we light a candle there. Another candle, I'll put candles all on here, but I'll make sure if it's a candle, I'll always put a nice piece of agate there. So if it leaks, it falls onto there. So that's a smart move. The other smart move is never put a candle anywhere where you could actually burn yourself, or it's easy to burn yourself. So beware of where you put candles. But candles are part of a beautiful night. There's something about a candle and giving a talk. So I always bring a candle on stage with me wherever I gave a talk in the world. It just felt right. It just felt wonderful. So this is the Pure Energy Healing Academy logo. That was only bought recently. But if I was doing circle nights, I would bring that down because I'm proud of it. So that's something I love, the Pure Energy Healing Academy. These photos, this is somebody in spirit who was part of my family. This is my mum. They're both my mums here. And they both helped me through my healing process. And this came along at a certain point where now, again, I don't want to talk too personal, but this is part of my family as well. So I'd bring that. I'd also bring my oils, and I'd also bring Agua de Florida. Agua de Florida would be something that I would use on my clients before I started. So before I start any of the work, I'd squirt some in everybody's hand. I'd go like that and go around and squirt it in the hand. I would ask them to hold their hand out so it doesn't go onto their clothes, rub their hands together and breathe it through their nose as deep as they can, and they'll end up coughing. But what that does, it clears a lot of stuff, and it also clears negative energies inside and clears a lot of, it's just a shamanic tool that I thought works really well. The oils are there as well for whatever I felt was necessary on the clients before I started. I'll go through that in a minute. Always brought cards down, always brought angel cards down. Now, at the beginning, I couldn't afford to gift angel cards away because they were so expensive. So what I would do is, to begin with, is under everybody's seat before they came, I would put a card. and face it this way so they couldn't see it, and put the card right at the back of the seat so they couldn't pick it up or they wouldn't know it was there. At the end of the night, when we'd finished, I would ask everybody, right, you know, I'd like to finish off with you all going under your seat and picking your angel card. Now, sometimes the seats would have like a cushion, so I'd put it under the cushion. So then I'd say, it's under your cushion. So they'd lift the cushion up and read their message, and they'd be crying because whatever happened that night, whatever happened the day before would relate to the card, and they'd be in tears. I would say to them, please read your card, and then when you finish with your card, could you please put it back under the chair? The reason why is because I didn't have that much money. So I really needed the cards for when I was doing my healing sessions to do the same thing. So when I'd given a healing session at work during the day, the client gets up and I ask them to read their message, and they'd read their message and they'd be overjoyed and filled with love. When I got to the stage when I could afford the cards, as time went on and business got better and more people came to me, I started buying more cards and then gave the cards away. So, you know, as time grows, you grow and your kindness grows. So, yeah, also, I used to bring these cards down, which are the Carl Rohrig deck, the deck that I teach with. So that's an online course that I do for 10 hours. And you learn all about these cards. And it's an amazing course. I'm not plugging it. I'm just telling you, it's an amazing course of how to read cards. And many people have become master readers after it and doing really well. So the reason why I had these cards is because depending on what I was wanting to do that night, I could just simply grab a card if I was stuck for anything or didn't know what to do, hold the card up in front of me, or grab the cards, take it to one of the people sat down and say, could you just choose a card? They'd choose a card like this, and then I would read it to them. So that card, like if this was for a client, I'd say, it's so important at this moment to drink more water. It's so important to strengthen your heart. And it's so important to realize that you might be feeling not so great today, but that's just like the petals falling off. You are going to grow new petals in the coming 7 days. And in 7 days, you're going to feel so much better. And a new you begins. So that would be the message, and they'd be crying saying, oh my God, okay, that's wonderful. So you give them tips about drinking more without telling them not drinking enough. You tell them to look after your heart without saying to them that there's something wrong with your heart. You give them information without fear. Okay. I might be skipping from one place to another, but bear with me because it's all relevant. Okay, so I've set up the table. There's all of these things on. There's okay, maybe I should just finish off here. There's all the sound therapies here. So I've got all my sound music. I've got my beautiful water, which is blessed water. I would normally put it in this. So it would be in a bigger jar because I'd be doing a lot of cleansing, which I will do in a minute and show you in a minute. Again, it's important when you use your incense to always have something to put in. So when you're using incense, you put it in there and you don't burn yourself or burn anybody else. That's vital. It's so important. There's also crystals on here as well. So I bring a selection of crystals that I've got a selection of crystals for sale and a selection of crystals on here that for some reason or other, I may want to give to somebody. And how I did that was I would have it on cord because I couldn't afford silver chains. So I had it on this cord, and the cord would be on every crystal. So I'd wrap it up and put it there. And as I'm doing the healing session, I'm called to run over to here, grab a tool or a crystal and put it around that person's neck because they need that crystal. So I trusted that the crystals I put on here, and sometimes I would think, oh my God, it's a crystal over there on the table at the entrance. So I'd go there and grab it, whether it was a Moldavite at 300, whether it doesn't matter. You follow, because spirit doesn't see money. They don't see that. And they always replenish it and repay you back if you don't think about these ridiculous things about how much things are. So again, certain crystals I would put in the hand of a client sorry, the hand of the person in the circle knight. So they might be just sat there, and I just go over to them and put it in the hand and just make them hold it. The reason why is because they're having healing through that. So it might be a rose quartz, it might be this Celestine, it might be a tektite. Depending on how I'm feeling, it might go into their hand, or it might be one of these beauties. It depends. It might be an angel. It just depends how I feel. So the table is there for when I believe I'm attuning or channeling the evening. So all those stuff are on there. Everything's there, like I said. So let's go back to this. So the chairs are important because you want to cleanse the chairs, because negative energy can touch the chairs through the week, and you don't know who sat on that chair. So let's just do it, shall we? So I break the stick off. I break the stick off like this, and I light it. I take the sacred water in the other hand. So the chair is here, and I would gently go down to the bottom, back up again, the top, to the back, and down. When I finish that, I would spray. That chair's done. Now, that being said, are we on again? Are we okay? Just give me a yes if you can hear me. Sorry, I don't know why that jumped out. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Great, brilliant. Naughty microphone. So when I feel low, I have to put these whoopee cushions on to get a bit higher. So you can play about with this, and I think it's great. I used to have these on, right? And I used to carry them with a pen in my pocket. And I used to have big pockets because of these big things. And when I cleansed the seat, right, I used to write down different thoughts and feelings. Like I'd be cleansing the seat and I'd ask, who's going to sit in this seat, right? And I'd write down stressed, right? And I'd stick it under the seat for me, not for my client, just for me, right? And I'd stick it under under there. So it had sticky stuff on, but I used to grab some sellotape just to make sure they couldn't see it. And this would be for my own experiment. Or I'd write down separated, or I'd write down depressed, or I'd write down powerful, or I'd write down loving or kind or caring, okay? And I'd clock who sat on each seat. And at the end of the night, I'd go and look at each seat, and I'd remember each seat. I was like this at auction. I haven't got a brilliant brain, but I used to have an auction house, and for some reason, when people come up to me and said that lot 26, it was a carving stool chair. So yeah, it went for 1750. I just know what. So that was I think that's kind of a gift that I had then. I'd know what the price of everything was. And I haven't got that. I haven't got, what's it called? Photograph memory. But for this reason, I have. So I was pretty good at knowing who was sat where. And I tell you what, guys, I swear to God, the power of your writing down and not knowing, and at the end of the night, it was exactly that, is phenomenal. So the other thing you can do for your client, right, is when you're doing that cleansing, I used to say sometimes, please heal this person of their pain of their heart. Please heal this person of the pain of grief. Please heal this person. So I was already putting attention on each seat. And I swear, honest to God, I even did it with a lovely girl who used to come down and she watched me and she said, it was almost like they were drawn to there, and these people were going through what you said. And it was true, they were. And it's phenomenal. That's why when you put a card underneath their chair, the message is for them. So you can see that it's not you. It's nothing to do with me. It's to do with the spirit world. They're clever. They know how to, and it's not manipulation. It's a gentle nudge. It's it's not we're being taken over by demons. We're doing all the bad things. If I was doing the bad things, wouldn't everybody be sick and ill and saying bad things? Wouldn't they be saying you're evil? No. When people say that, you've just got to be aware of these people. Be careful. They really do have demonic energies attached to them, those who say these things. When you work with spirit in a loving way, you don't need to prove it. You don't need to ask for anything. You don't need anything. They will work through you. And if you are pure and true and your morals are as they should be, like I just walked up this street and my foot nearly stood on a giant ant and my foot moved out of the way to let the ant live. That's morals. That's kindness. Most people won't give a shit about that and just stand on it. So it depends who you are. I work from the light. I work from love. I didn't need to say that, but I told people nothing dark would ever penetrate my energy. Never when I'm doing healing on people. Never. Maybe if I'm on my own and somebody's trying to get through and it's a negative energy, and that happened a few times, but when it came to clients, it was purely the love of spirit that works through you and helps heal people if your intentions are pure. That's why I called it pure energy healing, because there's nothing more pure than energy. And if your energy is pure with the right intentions, and not, if your intention is to make money, if your intention is to be famous, just bog off, just go somewhere else. I ain't time for people like that. If your intentions of being kind and caring and loving and wanting to help and wanting to heal and make a difference in the world, this is your place. This is where to be. I ain't going to wind you up. I'm not going to tell you something that's, oh, it's only for me to know, like my teacher did. Like, what do you mean? Why aren't you telling me that? That's not only frustrating, but that shows you don't fucking care. You're keeping the best for you, are you? That's nonsense. So I digress. Of course I do. And Mark Bajerski is a plonker sometimes. But like I said, the seat is important. So you've cleansed all the seats now. Beautiful. Now we get the music. The music's important now because the music needs to be non-evasive. It needs to be healing. So you got to choose your music well. You don't have to go with my music. Go with your own music. But if you like this music, go with it, because my mentor had a beautiful music and I went, oh, I want to use that music. But then it changed to the music that I heard that's the music I need. So spirit will always choose the music for you. It's beautiful. And if you've got a tape that has different music on, I swear to God, this is the truth that happened to me. I never wrote about it, but I had a CD with, I think it was 12. They were kind of long. The CD lasted for ages. And every time the client would come, the record, as soon as I started the healing, the record would come on. Like she came last week and the same record came on. So I tell you, the music, whatever you do, you're inspired by spirit for the frequency that they want. So don't ever worry about what you choose. It's always the right thing, because spirit, I believe, the family in the spirit world of the client who's coming will set everything up for you. So just follow what feels right. Not what I feel what's right, what you feel's right. So that's beautiful. So you've got your seat set up, you've got your music set up, your music's lovely. You put the music on a little bit higher when you do your meditation. And you should switch the lights down fairly low, if not turn them off. Okay? That's a beautiful thing, because when it's all off, you know, when people open their eyes, they don't see anybody. And as long as you've got candles on, you can silhouette them and see them okay. So I used to turn mine down to a dull light, because it was in Temesa Golf, there was a light setting and you could turn it up or down. So I turned it down when I do the, I turned the lights down and the music a little bit higher, so they wouldn't hear anybody coughing as much or me moving around. And I tried to be a butterfly so they couldn't hear me. So, okay, so now you've got your music ready, you've put it on, everybody's coming. You've now offered to cleanse them either at the door or where they come in. So you just do the same thing, cleanse them down like you did the chair, right? That, and spray them. And then you would gift them some oil and say, please put this oil on. Breathe it in through your nose, like I always did. Rub it on your third eye if you're doing a psychic night. Temples if you're doing like meditation, you know, a bit on the temples, and follow through what you're saying to your client, and wherever you feel that you want to put it on. Okay. And so you give it, you're empowering them as well. Okay. You empower your clients to not be a sheep and not to follow, but to like, okay, I need to think for myself. I need to feel for myself. And then they're proud of the end of the night. And then guess what? They buy the oil and start using it like that. And they're proud because they own it. And that's what you're trying to do. You want them to own their life. So I'm ready. I've got a few pinpoint notes ready. Everybody's being cleansed. Everybody's excited. Everybody's bag is under their seat. Everybody is okay. So here's some of the things that I would share with you. Okay, no alcohol. You're not coming in if you're drunk. At first, I allowed people to come in because they thought it was a fun night, because it might have been a psychic awareness night and I was going to read for people. But right now, if that was to happen again, I wouldn't do it. And the reason why is because I'm not able to control the night, because alcohol brings forward negative energy in them and anything can happen. And they can start laughing, or in the sense of being nasty or mocking, or, you know, you just don't want it. So you have to be strong enough, or you certainly write down on your message, no alcohol to be consumed before the circle night. So these are, I hope you're writing these things down. Write them down because they're important. Okay, you don't want to go through what I went through. Trust me, you don't. So it's challenging. It's challenging to deal with people who are drunk. Did I do it? Yeah, I did. But I thought to the negative effect of everybody else, because the alcoholics were getting more energy from me than the people who came, which is not fair. Why should they get all the attention? Well, I had to give them the attention. I had to bring forward their energy so that it wouldn't ruin the night. And I'll explain that in a minute. So, that's really important, guys. So once everybody sat down, they're all comfortable, they're sat down, they're ready for a lovely night. I used to, you know, give an opening talk. So welcome everybody. Thank you. It's an honor that you're all here tonight. And I'm looking forward to a beautiful healing night for all of us, where I'll be coming round and explain whatever I would do. Or I would start by just saying, strange thing happened today. Okay, so whatever felt right. So I might just give a story of what happened. Or I might say, hi, everybody, welcome to this evening. 1 year ago, 10 years ago, and I'd start talking about a story. The story would be relevant to whatever the evening was. So whatever that evening is, so you're going to ask me, what evenings did you do, Mark? Okay, so some of the evenings that I did was the topics, what happened today. Oh, sorry. So it could be absent healing. So everybody would come to a circle night and they would all do absent healing. So what is absent healing? It's giving healing to people that we love. And also a wonderful thing to do is say, if you want to bring a picture of somebody in the spirit world or somebody in this world that you want to send healing to and give your love to, please bring a photo. So I would put the photos on there somewhere, right? So everybody brings the photos, and now we all go into, I give the talk about, the spirit world and the people in this world. And so I'd join it to the beautiful members in family. I'd make a story, and the story would be connected to truth. There wouldn't be half truths, because people can smell bullshit a mile off. And you have to speak the truth. You have to not if you exaggerate, people know when you're exaggerating. People know. So just don't exaggerate to make the night better. The night's fine. The night's going to be perfect, whatever you do, because your intention is there. Just don't lie. Don't make up stories, and don't make people feel, better by lie. Don't lie. Just be honest, but don't hurt people, right? So it could be that good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening. Tonight, we're going to do absent healing, and everybody's brought a beautiful photo of somebody they love and care for. And tonight could be the perfect night that we connect to that person. So if they're in spirit, we send our healing and love to them to find out if they're well, because many of us want to know if our family's well. So tonight is a good night. So we send our healing. Then I'd explain how to do absent healing on people in the spirit world. Then I would say, and if there's anybody tonight that you has got cancer or not feeling well, that you want to send your healing to, this is how we do it. So that's a great start. That's half an hour gone straight away. So once everybody's got that in their mind, they all know what to do. Lights off, camera, action. And then Mark Bajerski, or you as the healer, gets up. They're doing their bit, and you're going around placing your hand either on their head, on their shoulders, on their back, on their heart, or their stomach, or their knees, whatever you feel you need to go to help that client's energy become whole, to become powerful, so that they can give their energy. So you are just going around fixing everybody like a mechanic fixing every car. That's all you're doing. You're going around helping everybody. So then your night's nearly over. They're doing their work. Somebody's crying in the corner. You go over and you give them a cuddle. Somebody goes into a state of where am I, what's going on? You give them a cuddle and give them a healing. Like, things can happen like that, okay? They go because the room gets really strong. Now, why does it get strong? The first time you start talking to your to these beautiful circle of people, you have to notice the energy. And the energy when they come in is normally quite low, because everybody's had a bad day. Everybody's been waiting for this. Everybody's excited, but they want to heal. And there's all different energies, but you can feel the energy as you're talking. And soon as that energy hits your head, and it will hit your head, you'll feel it. Then you can start the healing session. So I like to talk to get the energy high in the room, and it goes up. It goes from the ground and goes up, so you can feel it in your stomach. You can feel it in your chest. You can feel it in your throat. You can feel it in your head. As soon as it gets to my head, we're ready. Now, that is something that a healer only knows. And when you've got that energy up to your head, then anybody sat down is going to benefit from the energy in the room and from you to work. So it's not easy cleansing a room so big, but if you do all these little things like cleanse the sea, you're already cleansing the room. So the other thing you can do as well, we go back from clients coming in, which I used to do, and I will go back a lot of the times tonight. So I'll put one seat in the center after I've cleansed everybody's seat, and I sit down and I will evoke an energy of love and protection in that room. I will call upon every family member who is entering into the room. I call you to come in and to protect this room with love and healing. I call my mum, always call my mum to protect the room. And so we're calling on protection from the spirit world, even though they're coming, even though they're gonna protect the room. It's an acknowledgement. It's a beautiful acknowledgement between spirit and yourself. And that's a partnership that you have. So it's really exciting because you don't know who's coming into the room. It could be a child. It could be a mum. It could be a grandma. It could be a dog. It could be a horse. There is no such thing as a dog in the spirit world or a horse. They'll tell you that, but they're souls, just like you and I. So it's fabulous. So I get excited. I got so excited doing the healing nights. I loved the healing nights. I was drained at the end of it, but I loved it. I gave my all. And so that's on a side note. You can, and I used to do, put crystals in each corner of the room to also bring protection and good energy. So you've got crystals on here, then you've got crystals in 4 corners of the room. Always used to do that as well. And also to finish off with, I get the water and spray it everywhere. So that is blessed water. I'd spray everywhere. So the room is beautiful. Now, afterwards, I'd open all the doors and windows as well. We were packing away just to get any negative energy out. So that was something I used to do anyway, and I think is fairly important. But normally, John used to say, I don't know what it is, but every time you come here, the place feels better. And that's no lie. People working there were better. He used to say to me that people who work here are much nicer after you've gone. They're different. And I'm like, that's the power of healing. So circle nights, I'm going to give you a healing. It's going to be healing with meditation. So some people, after I've given a talk, they would close their eyes, put their hands here and just close their eyes and just listen to the music. I teach them how to breathe properly, but they didn't need to do it all the way through the meditation. They'd stop and just breathe normally. I'd give them, so they just do that. They just sit there. Some people never did this before. So they just sit there and I'd go around doing the healing, and then they'd experience healing for the first time. It might only be 3 or 4 minutes, but it can be powerful. And that's it. Then that they're hooked. They're coming again. Like I did. I went to my first healing place and I was petrified and I thought they were crazy. But the next time I went, and then the next time I was hooked because I changed. I was a different person. I was a better person. I was a healthier and happier person. I wasn't getting irritable bowel syndrome every week. It was like, oh my, this is really working. So other things that I used to do, I can't remember where I got it from. It was a big wooden bowl. It was huge. It was a big wooden bowl, right? I filled it with blessed water, and I would get people to come into the center of the room and wash their hands in it, and then just do that, and then go and sit back down. So it was a hand blessing, I'd call it. So just to bless their hands. Why? For finger pointing, for hitting somebody, or for doing something that they shouldn't have done, for being angry with themselves. So they were releasing all their suffering through the blessed water. That was amazing. That was amazing. Where did that come from? No idea. I just saw in a thought water and people cleansing themselves. And that was beautiful. That was a beautiful night. I'd also do nights where I'd just go around the clients and read a card to them. So an angel card, I'd read a card and just say something. That was a little bit more challenging. I preferred doing the healing than readings, although people love the readings, and it would be packed when I did readings. I used to do flower readings. So people would bring a flower, or I'd bring 50 flowers, and people would close their eyes and pull a flower, or open their eyes and choose a flower, depending on how they felt. And then I would give them the flower reading. Again, that was very popular and very draining because it's tiring when you have to talk all the time. I prefer healing. I prefer not talking, because you get more from it, because the less you talk, the more you feel and hear, and the less the talking, the more you hear. It's just incredible. The silence in healing is incredible. Okay. Also, I used to have a bowl, and I used to say to people, write somebody's name down that you want to heal from. Does somebody hurt you? Did you hurt somebody? Do you want to forgive? Learn to forgive? Then write that person's name down, and I'd put it into the bowl, and then I'd say to everybody, tonight we're going to meditate, and we're going to see that person, and we're going to go to the swings with them, and we're going to skip with them, we're going to laugh with them, and we're going to joke with them, and we're going to build that friendship up by our consciousness, meeting consciousness. I swear on my life, I used to get messages saying, Mark, you're not going to believe this. After tonight, my daughter that hasn't spoken to me for years sent me a message. Like they cry. So the intention sometimes really works, but I can't make your intention as powerful as it is. It's only up to you. It's up to my client. So some people will get everything out of it. Other people might not get as much, but they still came back. They always came back. So there was something happening. And sometimes if you realize that some people need more energy healing than others, then, you realize that it's not about time. It's about patience and working towards your end goal. And some things can be so painful that they go back from childhood, and sometimes they go back from past life, if you believe that. But we never give up on our clients, and we keep going, and eventually they're going to stand up one day afterwards, and they're going to come up to you, and they're going to say, can I have a word with you? Right? I'd have 10 people wanting to have a word with me after. And most of the time, this is the truth, they would tell me the miracle that happened to them the week before. Mark, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting used to this. I am going to believe it. Though those moments of going, oh my God, you're never going to guess, to, yeah, I know it. I know it works. I know Spirit loves us. I know they help us. So that was beautiful. So, cleansing blessing. So I would go around and say, tonight we're going to do a cleansing blessing. So I'm going to go around you. You're going to smell some smoke. It's going to be Palo Santo, or it's going to be sage. And remember, I could only do that because there were no fire water sprinklers in this section of the hotel. So it was great. So I'd either give them sage, and once I've cleansed it, gone around cleansing everybody, I'd use the spray, and then I'd give a healing session. So I'd use that as a healing night. I would, like I said, I would give crystals. So if it was a crystal healing night, I would bring enough crystals down. Or if it was a healing night with energy stones, I would bring 50 stones down. I'd also have a big jar with 150 of them. And I'd say to them, please choose one for a friend. Or if you've got somebody in spirit world who you love, please write down the name on there and sit with them as often as you can and meditate about them. I'd encourage people to start to meditate and start to send healing and love. It's such a powerful thing. Are we doing all right, guys? I know I talk too much. I'm trying to cram in as much as I can because this would normally take a full day. So you can see I'm trying to get in as much as I can. Okay. So, yeah, going back to what nights I would what I would choose that night. Holding hands meditation. Now that's an interesting one because I wouldn't ever say holding hands. We're doing a holding hands meditation. I would scan the room. I would see the energy of everybody. That's why I don't believe in global meditation. I know people get upset with me, but I'm sorry. It's my interpretation through my work. Why? Because I often saw in the circle when I held my hands with them that the circle would break and it wouldn't work because of one person. And that one person might be there out of anger, I got many of them guys who came just to spy out of jealousy, out of bitterness, out of pure darkness. And I couldn't kick them out. And no matter how hard I tried to give healing to them, it wasn't working. It was making them more angry. That's why I'm trying to introduce you to understanding that not everybody's like you or me. Some people are just dark, and they come because they want to feed. They're aggressive. They're angry. That's why they come on here and they start saying nasty things. I mean, why would you come on here? You come on here just like you come to my circle night to do it. So I would specifically look and feel the frequency. And if it's a night where everybody's beautiful, there's people in there with great energy. I mean, there's some healers in here tonight. I can feel them, right? So we'd sit down, I give a talk, and then we'd sit down and we'd hold hands, and we'd do a circle night where we'd meditate together and give healing to the next person to our left and our right. And then I would say halfway through, now release that left and right and only flow it to the right. And then I would, afterwards, 10 minutes, I'd say, okay, everybody breathe out. Now send the energy to the left. So it was like a wave going round, and it worked. People were saying it was like I was being hit this way and pushed this way. And yeah, it's true. It does. Energy is powerful. So that would be another evening. Let's have a think. Guided meditation. I used to love doing them. So guided meditation would be turning the music down quite low, and then I start to speak and guide people into healing, guiding people to a place where they've never been before. And it's just opening their pineal gland, they're opening their creativity, their imagination. And once you open that imagination, you get all sorts happening, and so many hits that boom, boom, boom. People are saying this is incredible. So guided meditation was quite beautiful as well. So you can guide them into a room, a white room with a chair. You just guide them in there. You close their eyes and you guide them into that room. You can guide them up through the head, through the body, so they see the head, through the roof, go high to another world. And in that world, you describe it as similar to this world, but you describe every feeling, and you're building up feeling through this amazing imagination. And people were saying, I felt the hot on my feet. I felt like I was walking on grass, cool blades of grass. I felt like I was sat by a tree. I felt like my mum came round and gave me a hug. So you guide them there, you guide them back. So guided meditation was absolutely lovely. The other one you could do, which is kind of lovely, but it's kind of bordering a ritual cleansing, and the word ritual has been hijacked by demonic. But ritual to me means a night where you fully focus on one person, and the rest of the people around are giving healing at the same time. So what you would say is, I want you to be part of tonight. I can't do all the work tonight. It's impossible. So I need your help. So people would love that because they're becoming healers. They're learning how to heal. So one by one, you ask. So it starts at one end and you say, okay, guys, it's going to start here. And when this person gets up and sits down in the middle of the circle, you're going to send healing. When I've finished and they sit back down, the second person is automatically going to stand up and sit in the seat. So everybody knows. And oh, by the way, if you don't want to sit in the circle, just say to the next person, can you please go? Okay. You give people the option not to do something. And did anybody not do it? Yes. Those that were really dark. So most people, 99% always do, 100% normally always does, but there might be one which is very dark, and dark meaning that they've got attachment. So that was quite nice, but it takes a lot out of the healer. So they sit down and then you cleanse them and you give them a little healing session for 5 minutes. Now, if you've got 100 people times 5 minutes by 100 people, sometimes you don't have that time because people sometimes are impatient. But over time, when you build your clientele up, and it starts at 7 and finishes at 8, they've said, oh, I wish it lasts a bit longer. Starts at 7, finishes at 9. Oh, I wish it were just a bit longer. 10, 11, and eventually people would say, well, it's like nearly 12 o'clock. I kid you not. I sometimes finished at 1 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock at night. And I would always say, listen, guys, if at any point that you need to go because of your children, or you need to go because of whatever, just, you don't need to say anything. I won't get upset. Just go and do your thing. And it's fine. I'll see you next time. So you're always giving your client the option to do what they feel. And most of them used to stay till, I'm kid you not, 11, 12, 1 o'clock sometimes. So if it was that kind of night, get ready for a long night, Mr. Bajerski. I hope your energy level is good. So that's basically what I would do. And once that's finished, the lights go up a little bit, the music goes down again, and then I would thank everybody for coming. Or if it was very late, I'd thank everybody for coming and say, have a safe journey home. And that'd be it. I'd be at the door giving everybody a hug as they're leaving. It was beautiful. If it was a night where, let's say I had, after the energy healing or after the meditation, it was only, say, 9 o'clock. And then it gave me an opportunity to give an ending talk, which might be 20 minutes. So, I'd inspire them at the end of the 20 minutes of how powerful spirit is through us, through you, through me, and give a story about what happened that week, or a story that you remember as a child, something that would inspire them to go away and think about. I would give them, without giving them, I would give them a lesson and they would bring homework home without them even knowing. So I'd say, in these next 7 days, guys, I would love you to do me one favor for your family and spirit. At one point through the day, I want you to sit down, hold your crystal, and attune to this or that. So I'd give them work to do in between. So these are the things that build people up, because you're holding them accountable, because you say is, next week when you come, I'm going to ask you if anything happened. Okay. And sometimes I never ask them. And sometimes they tell me at the end of the night, but they feel, okay, Mark's going to ask me. So, but sometimes I forgot and didn't, and they tell me anyway afterwards. But the point being, I want people to experience it for themselves. I don't want to be the one to say, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I want you to tell me what's happened. So that's how I would do the circle night. At the end of the circle night, they would pick the card up. My voice is going now. They would pick the card up and they'd read the card, and they would come up to me at the end and say, what does this mean? Or, I know exactly what this means. So some people who were new to it, I would explain what the card meant. You could also do another night of sound healing. So I've got all my sound, my bells and all that, and just go around using all my bells around them. So one client would be sat here, next client there. So I'd use the bell here and then walk around and use the bell there and walk round, or use the bell here at third eye, use the bell in the center of the circle, and go around and just tune in on who needs that frequency and vibration. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 singing bowl, 13 harp. So I got 13 harp, and I might start with this. So it's just nice and peaceful, and then I'll go into this. So it's like the sound, you might not be able to hear it, but it's like the sound of rain. basically what we're doing there is we're attuning to the frequency of the client. So I often went to circle nights and I'd sit there and I'd hear frequency sound, and sometimes there'd be just a bell that just lifted me up. Oh my God, that was it. And then I'd be in with it. I'd be there then. I'm right here where I need to be. And now I'm channeling. Now I'm connected. So frequency can help you connect to the spirit world. So I used to use sound therapy a lot. The other thing is, if somebody's filled with a lot of negative energy and I'm struggling with them, for some reason, feathers are incredible. So you just basically cleanse them with feathers. Cleanse them, just cleanse because it picks up negative energy, and it will pick that negative energy up. It takes it out of the aura. So that's why shamans use them, because they work. Okay, guys. That's it. My voice is nearly gone. 1 hour and 10 or 15 minutes. I can't see it. Maybe 20 minutes. We've done. This would have been a full 1 or 2 day workshop. This is part of my teaching as a pure energy healer at the pureenergyhealingacademy.com. So this is, if you enjoyed this, if this made you feel good and you want to consider maybe becoming or learning more about healing. Okay, healing is an incredible way to change your life. It's an incredible way to start to heal your body. There's nothing more powerful than healing. You can change your diet, you can change people, but changing you and knowing how to heal and heal yourself, to learn and understand healing, is the most important thing that we all do. I am not here to sell my course. I'm here to tell you that I have 2 beautiful courses. And these courses are online and they last for 4 days. So you have to be committed. Don't just buy it and then not do it. I'd rather you don't buy it at all. But if you end up buying the course, commit yourself to 4 days. 4 days, we start at 10 o'clock in the morning or 9, it's probably 10. And then you click on the first video, you watch the video, it's self-explanatory. It's like you sat there. When you watch it, it tells you, it's like me doing a course here. It's like you sat in a seat. It's such a good course. And I would recommend the Pure Energy Healing course first and the Pure Energy Crystal course second. So what you've got from me tonight is 1 hour and 20 minutes. What you get from this course is 4 days. 4 days. So it's incredible. So if you do the course, it does change lives. And you might not be ready for it now, but it might pop in your mind in a year or 2 years. Just bear in mind, it changes lives. So that's the pureenergyhealingacademy.com, and the courses are online now, and enjoy them. But take 4 days off. Ask your family to leave you alone and let you do them 4 days. And it really does make a difference. So like I said, if you like me as a guide, if you got something from it tonight and you thought, I really enjoyed that, then if you want to move on, then you can either do the Pure Energy Healing course and then afterwards the Pure Energy Crystal course. So it's just like learning first aid, except far more powerful, in my humble opinion. So that's it, really. I'm wishing you all a lovely night wherever you are. If you're watching this on replay, thank you so much for coming, whatever year it is, whether it's 2024 or whether it's 2030. This video hopefully will be up as long as they don't take them down, and maybe you'll become a pure energy healer and welcome into the family. We get together a lot. We try our best to help one another through this. We're always communicating and trying to come up with new ways of healing certain things that we have to deal with right now. And it's certainly helped my life to become a healer, and I hope it does you. That's it, really. I'm wishing you all a lovely evening. It becomes awful, really, because you kind of feel that when you do this, like, it feels like people are so judgmental these days. Like, I was only doing it to sell a course. No, I'm not. I'm doing it to change your life, to make you feel wonderful. you know, and there seems to be so much judgment these days. It's so hard to know what to say and what not to say. But I can only say I speak my truth, and I wouldn't be asking you to do the Pure Energy Healing course or the Crystal course if I didn't believe it. I'm the first one to say nah. But it is a beautiful course, and I really hope you do take it, and I truly hope that it changes your life so you become an amazing, even a stronger and most amazing soul that you already are. Just sometimes we have to chip away the old and bring out the new. So yeah, I enjoyed myself tonight. My throat is just about gone, and it's nearly an hour and a half. I hope you've got something from it, and I hope that you extend and visualize even more beautiful things to do in a circle night, as whether you're a pure energy healer, whether you're a Reiki, or whatever healing modality you do, extend and trust in you. It's great having symbols and all that, I get it, but trusting you, trusting new things, because everything changes. And the universe changes, the stars change, the planets move, we change, we move. New things are coming into this world that's never been here before. New poisons are being made every day. New energy frequencies that have never been here before that they're manipulating. They're spraying things every day. We need to change, to adapt. And that's why the Pure Energy Healing Academy come together and talk. We have private groups where we chat about these things and try and help, and we're trying to build that up more and more. So, you know, there you go. I am grateful for you being here tonight. 129 amazing souls. I truly hope you got something from it, and I wish you well. And if you are a pure energy healer, with all my heart, thanks for being here tonight and helping my voice. And I hope you got something from it. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.